Want to plan your next fishing trip without the hassle? FishingBooker.com is the best way to find and book a fishing charter anywhere in the world. Whether you're chasing trophy fish or just looking for a family day on the water, Fishing Booker makes it simple, fast, and secure. With thousands of experienced guides, verified reviews, and 24/7 customer support, Fishing Booker takes the guesswork out of planning. Visit FishingBooker.com and book your trip today. Fishing Booker. Fishing trips made easy.
Midway USA has everything you need for a successful day at the range. Load up your range bag with your targets, shooting rest bags, eye and ear protection, as well as magazine pouches, mag loaders, and basic gun cleaning supplies. Protect your favorite firearms with durable, hard, or soft gun cases, and bring along your tactical or shooting vest to carry additional gear and gadgets. Midway USA has all you need for the range, plus self-defense and safe storage products to ensure your guns and gear are well organized and secure for when you get back home. For just about everything for shooting, shop MidwayUSA.com.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we got another great episode for you today. Today we connect with another newer hunter who's just fallen completely in love with the sport, with the occupation, whatever you want to call it. He is a hunter through and through. Today we connect with Chris Greenlee. Chris is, again, a listener who reached out after filling out my little survey and said, hey, I've got some stories to tell, and he did not disappoint. I had a lot of fun. We actually ran out of time, so I know Chris has some more stories, including chasing some bears through the woods that we didn't even get to. So that being said, we'll have Chris back on again in the future, I am sure. But for you listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you give us a like, a follow, a review, share us with a friend. Now let's go ahead and kick this thing off and let Chris tell you some of his stories. Thank you. All right, Chris, welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing real well. I'm happy to be talking to you today, brother. You are another one of the wonderful listeners that filled out the survey saying, hey, I got some fun stories to tell. And so here we are, man. So thanks for being brave and coming on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure, buddy. I mean, it's definitely a little intimidating. I heard your voice yesterday on a voicemail. I was like, oh, shit, it's getting real. And so I figured I'd write down some notes for when I kind of get lost in my chatter in here. I can look back kind of to get myself back on the straight and narrow, you know?
That's funny, man. That's funny to me because, like, I am nothing more than a below average hunter that just sits down and talks to people. So no need to be nervous, man. This is all for fun. But let's do this, man. Why don't we start it off? Why don't you introduce yourself, Chris, so that people know who they're hearing some stories from today, man. Let them know where you're from, how long you've been hunting, etc.
For sure. All right. So my name is Chris Greenlee. I was born and raised in Hamilton, Ontario. Moved out to a little town called Rodney. It's just a bit past London. Live out here in God's country, more or less. It's nothing but, open fields of farmer fields and some tree lots on either side everywhere. So I'm a new hunter, actually. Just got into things.
How long you been hunting? Like, new is relative, right? Like, I consider myself a new hunter, but it's been
right.
almost
Okay.
a
Well, I
decade
guess
now.
I'm very new then.
Okay, all right.
My first year hunting was 2023, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
this will be my third. This will be my third season.
Awesome. So up there, is it just sort of like a license where you buy your license and you get to shoot X amount of animals? Or do you have to put in for draws and stuff like it is in a lot of the Western United States?
Well, so the first year I was only able to get a buck tag because I got my tag later in the season where they do for does and whatnot, they do draws.
Okay.
So the first year I only had a buck tag as I kind of, I got my hunting license and everything done a little bit late, and then the doe draw had already happened. So then, I had a buck tag the first season, and then last year I entered into a draw, and luckily I got a doe last year, so that was good.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, it's been a crazy start to things, and it's just totally taken over my life and. Just kind of addicted to everything now, right? I mean, I've always been the guy where, driving down the highway and always, I'm watching the road too, but I'm constantly looking in the fields and, there's a deer. And I got my family and they're with me. They're like, where? I'm like, out there, see it over there? Like, I don't see a deer. It's like, how do you see that? It's like, I don't know, man. It's just, I'm just constantly looking for it, right?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, so what got you into hunting, I guess? Like, where what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, did you have relatives that did it and you just never picked it up until more recently? Or you
No,
tell
man,
that story.
I'm just kind of like you, I guess. I didn't really have anybody. My dad is a avid fisherman, but never hunting. So I did lots of fishing with him. Not very much success fishing, but being out here in the country, and I looking out back of my out in my back out the back of the house. There's lots of you see deer almost daily out back and
Yeah,
whatnot. And I was like, shit, man, I gotta start getting out there. And I always love watching the animals. How cool it would be to be sitting out in a tree stand. And me and I've got 3 kids. One of them's 1, so not really into doing anything yet. But my oldest daughter is 6. Her name's McKinley, and she comes out and does everything with me. Well, besides sitting in a tree stand in the mornings. But she comes out and we do scouting together and whatnot. And we came across a tree stand 2 years ago out in the woods. And I asked the farmer who lets me go back there in his tree lot back there. And I asked him if it was okay. He gave me the thumbs up on going back there and doing some hunting. So, I figured I just might as well get out there and get in the tree stand and see what happens, right? And
that's awesome. Did you just trial by thunder and just run out there and start, sitting in grass piles, or did you like dive into YouTube and podcasts, or like how have you helped sharpen the curve to be a better hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of Meat Eater, of course.
Of course, yep.
Yeah, I watch a lot of that, and then I'd say that was probably the most of what I watched until I got out there. And then I got out there, and I know I'm new to Rodney, so I don't really know too many people. But one of the guys I knew, I messaged him and asked him a few questions. He's like, "Dude, you got to wait for the rut." I was like, "The rut? What's that?" He's like, "You don't know what the rut is, bro? Check it out." So I looked on YouTube, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Like, wow, the world opened up to me. I could see. I started learning all these other things, and I was addicted. I started just learning as much as I could, and I'm kind of self-taught out here, right? I like to go out in the back by myself and just sit there and learn. And the first year I got out in the tree stand, I sat out there, and every day I would see deer, which was great because it was easy for me to kind of catch the bug, right? So I'd go out there and sit in the tree, and I'd spot one out in the distance, but probably 100 yards out through trees, hear something, and it's a squirrel. Oh, there's actually a deer for once, right? So I watch them on the binoculars and whatnot. They just kind of wander off, and I'd be like, damn, okay, well, try another day. So I went out another day and just kept going at it, and then the one day I was sitting there and I heard a snap behind me, I guess a twig snap or something. And I kind of look over my back shoulder because I'm sitting on a tree stand, sitting on a tree stand with my back obviously on the tree. And I heard a snap, and it was at 6 o'clock behind me. So I look back, and it's a doe, and I only had a buck tag that year, right? So I'm sitting there waiting, and just kind of watching it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then as it kind of got to my left side of the tree, I look, and I can kind of see its back end, and look at that. There's got little spikes on its head. And I'm like, holy shit, that's shootable. Holy crap. So I was so pumped up, and I had a set of sheds that I'd found a few years back. So I started rattling them together and whatnot, just seeing what I can, see if I can get this thing to come a bit closer. And it stopped and looked at me, and holy shit, man, my blood pressure was going crazy. Just adrenaline was pumping. I was like, holy crap. It came close. It got so close. It was walking. I'm like, okay, it just needs to get another 3 or 4 feet. And then it's golden shooting lane. Right. And so I'm sitting there waiting. I mean, it must have felt like five minutes. It was standing in the one spot. And I'm sitting there just come on, man, come on. One more step. And his vitals were right behind this little tree. If the tree couldn't have been much bigger than 8 inches maybe around. So it was a really tiny tree, but of course right where it needed to be. So I'm sitting there waiting, and it just, I don't know, maybe it winded me or something. I didn't really know too much about wind then or anything, but I didn't feel the wind.
Us new hunters,
Sorry?
we've all been there. I was going to say, new hunters that didn't have that mentor always learned about wind the hard way, right?
Yeah, but like you always say, right? Best lessons are self-taught, and
That's right.
I've learned a lot going out there by myself, right? And I hear all these people talking about how they go out and their buddies are loud and won't shut up and lighting up cigarettes. I'm like, fuck, I couldn't deal with that, man. I would be losing my shit. I'd be telling them to shut up. Like, what are you doing, man? You want to talk? Go out there and talk. Like, we're in here trying to keep quiet to get some animals here, right? But yeah. So anyway, so the buck, it wasn't a buck. It was just a young spike. But my buddy had told me, those are like the best. Those are the best eatings, right? They haven't been through that nasty rut and whatnot, year after year and whatnot. So that's usually the best tasting food, right, or meat. So anyways, he was standing there, and I'm just hoping he takes another step or two, and must have winded me, and just turns and starts walking the other direction. And like I had my bow at a draw because I was just needing one more step and go. So he stopped and turned and started walking away from me, and I boom, let it go. Hit a twig. I didn't even it hit a twig and went way high. It took me after he then did a little jump, kick, stop. Yeah. Look back at me. He's like, you missed, sucker, right? Like, I'm like, oh my God, just laughing at me kind of deal. So, being a novice, here I am. I'm like, holy shit, oh my God, what am I going to do? My arrow. I want my arrow back, right? Like, just being silly. I want my arrow back. So I'm sitting there. I waited 10, 15 minutes. Didn't hear anything else. So I come down out of the tree and I go walking out. I'm like, okay, well, I look up at the tree stand. I'm like, this is where it should be. It should be right around here. Like, I'm looking on the ground and everything just looks the same. Like, it's a cornfield, right, that had been mowed now. So there was all the stalks poking out of the ground. And so I just keep looking and looking and looking. And eventually I find it and then I pick it up. And all of a sudden, I'm like, what the? Holy shit, I got blown out. There was another one following this one up behind. What a rookie move that was, right? So I was disappointed, more NOLA, It was pretty brutal, but it is what it is. Another learning lesson, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good way of thinking of it, man. Here's a question I have for you.
Sure, that's all you got to do, right? Take it as another notch on the belt, and
absolutely, man.
Re-strategize and get back out there.
Yeah. Did you just start immediately with archery hunting, or did you break out a rifle first? Or I know that you're in Canada and your gun laws are a little different, but why, or did you start with just a bow? And if so, why?
Yeah, I just started right out with a bow. So about, I think it was 3 or 4 years, maybe 2 or 3 years before maybe 2020. One of my buddies, I worked at I was still working for the man, working in a big plant, welding, and I met a guy there who he did archery. So he's, you should come out, man. So I eventually went out and I bought a bow, a brand new bow. It was a PSE Brute, I think it was PSE Brute bear bow. So I bought that thing and we went out and started shooting, and I was just enjoying shooting, right? I was a city boy at that time and just started shooting. We would go to to the range, an indoor range, and just shoot arrows all day, right? And we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I was like, shit, this would be fun to get out and actually, try to hunt an animal. That'd be great. But I didn't get my my gun license until 2024. So when I got out in 2023, that's all I had was a bow. So whatever, I'm doing it. Let's see what we can do, right?
Huh. That's cool, man. That's interesting that you got so into archery before you had been out hunting, but that's awesome. Did you get really technical with your archery, or were you just kind of arrow on the string, let it fly, not doing crazy tuning and stuff like that, like some of the guys get into?
Yeah, no, I've never gotten into tuning my bow. I think at this point I was thinking before this season open, I'll probably take it in and get somebody to tune it, or maybe give me a little rundown on how to tune it myself. Cause that'd be great to know. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was just more or less just flinging arrows, and I started getting nice close groupings and whatnot, and it was just, it was just something that like, kind of like a stress release, you're hitting bullseyes. You're like, oh yeah, that was sick. It's just like, kind of, it makes you smile, right? You get some good groupings in there, some nice shooting going. It just makes you smile, right? So
Absolutely.
it was something.
There's a reason there's the book, right? The Zen and the Art of Archery, which is a German philosopher talking about shooting bows in Japan. And it is
Oh,
definitely
no kidding.
relaxing.
I've never seen it though. I'll have to look it up because actually, thanks to you, I guess. I was looking. I'm just starting getting back into the working out phase here, and I started doing the 75 hard.
Oh, good for you, man! I need to get back on that train.
Yeah, so I just started that up like 4 or 5 days ago now, and oh my god, man, I'm sore. Holy crap!
Good for you, man.
45 minutes is all right, but 45 minutes twice a day, it's hard to squeak all that in there with the kids and the.
Oh,
Like I run my own business. I run a mobile welding business, and to run the family and 2 workouts and getting reading and all that done in a day. It's interesting, right? But it gets you definitely. Yeah, it's very tough for sure. Yeah, and the first few,
Andy
right? You always
Frisella,
get the gym pains. Oh,
yeah, for sure. And the guy Andy Frisella that invented that thing, it's not a physical thing; it's a mental thing. Like anyone could do it. You just gotta mentally check all the boxes for 75 days, and that's the hardest part. Is sometimes you might get your workout saying like, I don't want to read 10 pages, or whatever. I don't want to drink another glass of water, or whatever it is. But yeah.
Yeah, I was like 7 o'clock last night. I'm like, I need 3 more bottles, babe. 3 more bottles. I'm done for the day. Just like like the little ones that you get from the store.
Yep.
Kind of bottles. Yeah, I think I worked it out. It's like 9 of those a day or something. So.
I got a giant, if you've seen any of my clips, I sometimes have this giant orange cup. It's like 32 ounces. So I'm like, I got to drink 4 of those a day in order to have a gallon. So. But,
that's rough.
We went way off topic here, Chris. Way off topic. Okay. You've given us a
couple
great stories
always
about,
happen, right?
Yeah, exactly. But we've had some good stories already, impromptu, kind of some of the failures and lessons learned. What other stories you got for us? I know you said you had one that was maybe fresh in your mind.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that one. It's just a little quick one, and then I'll get into the good stories.
Okay, let's do it.
So, like I said, I live out here in God's country, right? Just forest, or like it's all open field, farming fields all around me, whatnot. This year they have usually the last 3 years they've done corn. This year it's carrots, so like we can see everything this year, right back to the bush and everything, right? So like daily we're seeing deer out there, whatnot. But it was spring turkey season, had just opened or whatnot, and I went out back. Actually, we went to me and the family. We'd found a yard sale. I found a whole bunch of this guy was selling a bunch of calls. And
this episode is brought to you by Boat Trader, America's largest boating marketplace. Whether you're buying, selling, or upgrading, the Boat Trader app makes it easy. With the biggest selection of new and used boats from dealers and private sellers. Browse, compare, and even apply for financing. All in one place. Download the Boat Trader app and start your search today.
For almost 50 years, Midway USA has been America's go-to source for just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. Go to MidwayUSA.com to see our latest deals and promotions and take advantage of our super fast same-day shipping. If you need a cooler, a new fishing rod, another rifle, ammo, or a reloading press, you can find it all at MidwayUSA.com. Thanks for your business.
I found the crow call in there for the turkeys, right? That loud, high pitched one. And
shock gobble.
I seen that in there, and I showed that I kind of was interested in it. He's like, "Oh, take the whole box, take the whole box." I'm like, I just want this one. Like, I have most of those already, right? They were like older little grunting tubes and whatnot, but they were like kind of like ancient calls, right? So they were kind of caught my interest a little bit, right? But I was just like, I only want this one. How about $5 for this? He's like, he went from 40 down to 15. So I was like, okay, $15. I'll take them all. So I got a bunch of calls. So me and my woman are sitting out back, having a coffee in the morning. It was like 6 a.m. or whatever. And I'm just out there laying on my crow call. And nothing. Didn't hear anything back. And then like a few minutes later, we just hear a massive gobble just like echo across all the lands and the forest behind me. I'm like, oh my God. And then I was like, I was like, babe, I'm going to get my stuff. Let me know if you keep hearing it. So I come back. I was like, babe, it just keeps going. And so I sat down. I'm all like, I got in my ghillie suit or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go out there. I'll be back. So I just walked out to the back, like woods, like straight over the back of my place, back to the back woods, which is about 450 yards back to the forest. And then I had my little, the puck that you would call it, scrape on.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. The slate call.
Slate call. Yeah, that's the one. So I had that. I called on it a few times and then it replied. I was like, holy shit. Awesome. This is great. Like, I mean, I've never hunted turkey before. This is my first experience. I'm like, I'm going to go out I just want to lay eyes on it just to see it. Right. Like,
yeah,
it'd just be cool. So anyway, so I get out there and I'm walking. It's on the neighboring forest across the street. It's maybe another 500 yards down or whatever. So anyways, I walk down, I get across the street into this guy's yard, which also he's given me permission as well. Thank God. So I just walked over there. I got in there. I gobbled right back. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. It's this way. Let's go. I kept going. I got to another tree, called, it answered. I was like, holy crap. Okay. I'm going to stop here. So I stopped. I sat there. I wait, like, in between calls, like, 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. And then, it sounded like it was getting closer to me. And I was like, holy shit. Okay. I'm going to go up here. There's a nice big tree. I'm going to go up behind this tree and just sit down there. I got my shotgun beside me and I'm sitting there and I call, it replies. I'm like, holy crap. Okay, cool. This is sick. So I'm like sitting on my knees, just like looking at the tree on my knees, the shotgun kind of in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there just waiting, right? I didn't want to call too many times. And then I just hear like I was like, what the fuck was that? And I peek my head around the tree and this massive gobbler was like maybe 8 to 10 yards away from me, all fanned up. And I was just like, holy shit. And like my adrenaline spiked, a little bit of nervous, a little bit of excited came over. I was like, kind of got the chills, like, holy crap. Like, what the hell? How did it come so quick? I didn't even see it coming up. Like I was watching, nothing. And then the noise I heard was it like fluffing its feathers to make it look big and attractive, Yeah. So,
how far, like in feet or yards or however far?
I think like 10, 15 feet, maybe like 10 yards or 8 yards away.
Okay.
Like it was,
That's awesome.
It was close.
Very cool.
It was so close. I was like a little concerned. And then, so I tucked my head back around the tree. I grabbed my shotgun, turned off the safety. I peeked my head around the right side of the tree. Like first I looked over the left, and I looked over to the right side, and I seen if there was a female, there was a hen there with him as well. And then I was like, okay. So I grab my shotgun, I move it around, I peek over to the left, there he goes, head down, freaking like the Roadrunner, gone. I was like, oh my God, like that was crazy, man. Like I was just blowing, like, it wasn't much, right? But like, holy crap, it got my adrenaline going. Like, this is sick. Next day I was going out buying a decoy, like a hen decoy and stuff. I was like, man, it's got to be that it knew I was behind the tree. So as soon as it seen movement, it's like, that's no turkey, out of here, right? But like I was like, maybe next time I'll have I'll have the hen out there and it'll go out. It'll be focusing its attention on it while I get to be able to bring my gun out, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't hear him again until, of course, after the season was done. I went out, me and my daughter, McKinley, we went out and I showed her the tracks, and we went out at like another time and we went out with the puck, and was a slate call, right? Slate. So we went out and she calls it for me when I got the gun, and she sits there and like, it's really cool getting to go out and take her out with me, right? I heard one of your podcasts where the guy was talking about, trying to go out with the kids, and it's so hard to do hunting with the kids because they don't want to sit still and whatnot, but to go out and get that interaction with the slate call and them replying, how cool that is, right?
Yeah, that's so cool. I might have been Sam Solholt that you're talking about in his episode, because he had a great story about us taking his son out, and his son had an umbrella instead of a shotgun. Wonderful story.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that was so cool. I remember that one. Yeah.
So I want to get my son out. I'm trying to find a place that like we don't have to hike. All the turkey spots I have are like a mile plus hike. So like I just don't know about a 6-year-old in the dark hiking in a mile, and I can't carry him because we're talking elevation, mountains, all that stuff. So I'm trying to figure that
Oh
out. But
wow,
I
crazy.
would
Yeah,
love
yeah.
to take my son out because he's 6 too. And I think that would be just so fun to take a little one out and just have them gobble. And so anytime I see animals anywhere, I always try and get them to interact. But yeah, getting the
Yeah.
actual
Oh yeah.
experience of the hunt would be pretty
She's
special.
she's so crazy like that. She's obsessed. Like she's like, we go out. She's like, Dad, look at there's I see tracks. See, that's a doe and that's a fawn. Look how tiny its feet are. It's so cute. I'm like, oh my god, Mickey, you're so cute, kid. Like
That's
she's
awesome.
through and through a country girl now, right? It's so great.
That's too
No
awesome.
better way to bring your kids up, right? Is out in the country.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I need to get more country in my life. We get out to the mountains a lot, but we live in the burbs, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
hopefully at
yeah,
some point we can
yeah.
get out of the
I
burbs.
I wish we had mountains around here. We're lots of flatlands around here, but we're not too far from the lake and whatnot. But it's mostly pretty flat. So
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right, man. Well, that was great. That was fun. It's cool to hear you experience your first turkey. Those things are so much fun. I love hunting turkeys, and they're so goofy. And did the bird fly away or run away? It sounded like it road runnered away.
yeah, road runnered away from me. Yeah, it tucked its head. And I seen its little like it's beard. Is that what you call it? The beard, right?
Yeah. Yep. The
Yeah,
like dangly, weird, long hair
just
coming out of its
dangling away
chest.
while it sprints. It's like whacking each side of its head as it tries to run away from me. I was like, oh my god. Like I didn't want to shoot at it while it's running away into the woods or whatnot. And
Are you
yeah,
talking about the
so
thing on its chest or the thing on its nose?
the thing under it's like, oh yeah, I guess it would be its nose, right? And it like hangs down under its
So
chin.
that's not its beard. That's called the snood of all damn things. So snood.
A
But its beard,
snood, eh?
yeah, the beard comes right out of the middle of its chest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it was like I think it was like hanging from like down under its chin kind of deal.
Yeah, that might be the snood. Either way,
The
turkeys
snood.
are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it was
let's
pretty
keep
cool.
going,
It's
man.
a cool ruck, right?
Yeah, right. You may have heard my story about hunting in Texas, and I was looking for my deer, and I popped up over a hill, and there was like 10 birds that all took flight, which was terrifying. Because they got those big wings, man. They can push a lot of air with those wings. So
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I didn't hear that one, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
yeah. Cool. Well, what else you got? You said one quick one. Now on to some of the more action packed. Not that that
Yeah.
wasn't
All right,
wonderful.
cool, man.
Let's
So
keep going, man.
yeah, so we're gonna fast forward to the next season, 2024. I had entered into the antlerless draw, so I had gotten it, I'd won it, so I was quite excited. You know, I could shoot a doe or a buck this year. So I'd gotten out. Let's see where we are. Let's start this off right. All right, antlerless draw. All right, so
Checking the notes.
yeah, so boat. Excuse me. So bow season out here starts October 1st. When the rifle, it's only muzzle loaders out here. It's bow and then muzzle loader, week on, week off kind of deal out here.
Oh, okay.
So for October 1st till I think it's the first weekend of November, it's just strictly bow hunting, which is great because, you know, they're not all skittish and whatnot at that time from people shooting with muzzle loaders at them. So anyway, I got out a few times, got out to the tree stand and sat there. You know, I'd seen a few deer from the distance again. And, you know, it's kind of defeating or deflating when you sit there and you get all pumped up, you see something, and then it just slowly walks away from you, right? So, I mean, I don't know, like, once again, being new to the hunting thing and self-taught, right? I mean, I'm always kind of thinking, I'm like, well, how should I go in? Like, am I leaving my scent here? Should I keep going to the same stand again and again? Or should I try new stands? Or like, you know, how do you play that? How do you know which way to go? Like, yeah, it's hard to know, right? If you try new things or just keep trying keep sticking to the same thing, right? So
yeah, I'm with you, man. So I haven't even done any of that whitetail stuff other than that one hunt, but I was spotting stock kind of rocking down a river. So like, I don't even know, like that's a whole part of hunting.
Oh, is that the one in Texas?
Yeah. I was.
We got in that river there, the no water river.
Yep, that's right. The
Gotcha.
navigable river, which is now illegal. But either way, all that scent stuff,
I mean, in Western big game, it's obviously part of it, but you know about thermals, you know about diurnal thermals, in the morning, in the evening, and then just like prevailing winds. But like all the scent stuff that you guys do for that whitetail is it's a lot, man. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't say that I've maybe I got some luck, some bit of everything
Yeah.
kind of worked out in my favor when things did work out, right? But yeah, so I was out there twice, seen a bunch of deer, nothing got even remotely close enough, right? So the third time I went out and I sat in the tree stand for like 15, 20 minutes or something. I was like,
Yeah.
shit, man, like let's try something different. Like I'm gonna try some spot and stock. I'm gonna get out of here and walk around and see what I can see if I stumble upon anything or see if there's anything even in the woods here, like in this section of the woods, right?
Yeah.
So I got out of the tree, start walking, like I'm going really slow, trying to be conscious of not stepping on sticks and whatnot. And I'm like just hiking up this trail and then kind of like on the side of it, trying to stay secluded or hidden a bit. But walking up and not seeing anything, not seeing nothing. And then all of a sudden, I was like, holy shit, I hit the deck. I'm like, I just got blown out, right? And I'm like, holy crap, oh my God, this is so cool. So I'm on like all fours with my bow in front of me. And I'm kind of, army crawling up to this tree in front of me. I'm like, okay, get behind the tree. I got behind the tree and I like kind of peek out. I'm trying to look and locate this deer. I'm like, where is this thing? Where is this thing? I'm looking. Oh, there it is. Like, holy crap, it's still puffing at me, right? And I'm looking at it. I located this one deer and I'm like, okay. And it's kind of looking, trying to see what there is down like my direction and whatnot. And then it starts stomping its foot and like breaking on the ground. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool, man. Like I was I was like, I don't have to go past this. I'm just enjoying watching, right? I'm just like, just to watch the animal's behavior. It's so cool, right? So interesting to me. So I'm like, okay, there it is. There's the deer. It's looking at me like, hopefully it comes this way. And then all of a sudden, off to the right. I'm like, oh shit, there must be two. Oh my God, there must be at least two. This is crazy. So then I'm sitting there and yep, okay. There's a second deer right there. I'm like, oh shit, wow, this is sick. This is so cool. So then I'm sitting, I'm waiting, and then, but this now I'm like, what the hell? It's like circling around me. That there must be a third deer that is circling around me, and it kept blowing me out. Like every 2 minutes, it would blow me out, and I would and I just sat there and watched. I'm trying to locate this third deer, and then I look back, and the other two deer are gone now. I'm like, what the hell? Where'd they go? And then I hear another puff, another blowout, like almost directly to my right. Like first they were at 12 o'clock. Now they're at like 3 o'clock, all like kind of trying to circle around me, trying to get upwind or downwind or whatever. Right. And I'm like, holy crap. Okay. I'm going to try to back up in case they try to come back in. So I try to get up and I'm trying to walk down the trail, like back the way I was coming. And all of a sudden, all three of them come zooming through across the path that I was walking on, right in like maybe 15, 20 yards ahead of me. They just booking through there. I was not scared me, but I was like, the adrenaline rush was like, holy crap, that was intense, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It was something else. I was quite excited. But then I was like, shit, did I just ruin the hunt? Like, are they gonna be gone now? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. So I was kind of, it was exciting, but then also kind of like, I felt kind of, a little, maybe I just ruined things and maybe they're going to go off to a different woods. Maybe they're going to go somewhere else. Right. So I kind of had that in the back of my head. And then, I was watching some more videos and lots of guys, they go on about, it's not always about, being out there every day. It's try to go out on the right days, right? Like pick those days, the ones that are going to be cooler and the ones that the winds are going to be coming from the right directions and all those sort of things, right? So, I located a good day. It was, near the end of October now. It was going to be like minus, I think it was going to be like -3 or -4 degrees Celsius. And, it was looking like a beautiful day and the wind was coming from the north, which is where I wanted to come from. And I was like, all right, cool. This is my day. And then I think I mentioned to you, I run a mobile welding business.
Yep.
So, of course, I get a call for a guy who needs an emergency job. He'll pay, large. He needs me here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, man. Like, of course, he wants it on the Saturday, which was the day I was going to go out. And I was pretty cheesed, but I was like, whatever. Okay, it's going to be a nice payday. So, it is what it is. And then the night before, he called and canceled. And I was like, yes, awesome. In the back of my head, I was like, that kind of sucks, right? I'm now losing out some money, but I'm like, yes, this is awesome. I got to get out there. It looks like a perfect day, right? So I checked all the stuff and everything still looked the same. So I was like, okay, sweet. This is going to be awesome. I'm pumped. So then, the next morning. Okay, so I don't know. I know you'd mentioned, take your 6-year-old out in the middle of the morning, walk through the woods and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
It's eerie, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what's watching you. I know out where you are, there's obviously more stuff than there is where I am, right? But there's coyotes and whatnot. There's coyotes and whatnot around here. And the night before, I heard coyotes all out in the cornfields and whatnot, right? And like this season, like the year on 2024 that I'm talking about right now, the corn was still totally up, totally tall. So I had to walk through.
How many times, man, I've walked into the woods and I see eyeballs and I know it's a raccoon, but I'm just there talking shit to him because it makes me feel better about being in the dark with eyeballs on me. So I talk shit to all the raccoons.
You don't know it's a raccoon. You're telling yourself it's a raccoon. Let's get real.
Stop it, Chris. It's a raccoon.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so I got up in the morning and I was like, all right. So I got all my stuff ready and I head down to the cornfield, which is a 450 yards roughly through the corn to, and I had like a trail that like I'd follow, right? Like a path through that I'd gone through a few times. So I get out there, I'm getting out there and I turned off my headlamp just before I got out of the corn and, I'm getting there. I'm like, okay, I need to be quiet. I need to get in this tree stand nice and quiet. And actually I had a cough, that week, which was driving me crazy. So this is something, it's pretty small, but it's something that I really remember because it has almost screwed me. I had a Gatorade in my, back in my pack. So as soon as I got up, like my ninja skills must have been on point, buddy, this day, let me tell you. So I got out, I got in this tree stand, I got up, I sat down, I had my that thing that you corkscrew into the tree that then you can hang your bow off of.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Never used one, but I'm familiar. Yeah.
Okay, so I had one of those that I already had up in the tree. So I got up there, I hung the bow up, I sat in the tree stand, clipped my knapsack or my pack onto the side of the tree stand I was sitting on. I was sitting there and I felt like a cough coming on. I'm like, oh, trying not to cough. So I grabbed my Gatorade out of my pack, have a little sip. I'm like, okay, there it goes. Okay, I got it. I didn't, of course, it's still totally dark. Wasn't, ready for what was coming. But, it was still dark. So I take my Gatorade and I put it on the, little foot stand that's below what I'm sitting on, right? Like a little step. So I put it on that and I'm sitting there. I sit back. Just looking, all of a sudden, snap. I was like, what the hell? No way. There's no way. I looked down and then, it was, just starting to, the sun was just starting to, crest the horizon, So it was starting to lighten up just a little bit. And I'm like, holy crap. Is that a deer? I heard something. Then I hear some rustling around. I'm like, maybe it's a squirrel. And then all of a sudden I see the thing stand up and it's like...
Hunting is not easy. It never has been. It takes dedication, motivation, a lot of patience, and quality gear. If you manage a food plot, put up stands, or need just one more game camera, we can help at MidwayUSA.com. We opened our doors in 1977 and continue to put customers first by offering super fast, same-day shipping. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com.
At Midway USA, we put customers first. The Nitro Express shipping system is icing on the cake. It was a big investment of time and money to take super fast, low-cost shipping to a whole new level. The Nitro Express helps ensure same-day shipping and low shipping costs. We hope you enjoy the Nitro Express. We built it just for you. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com. I'm Larry Potterfield with Midway USA. Thanks for your business.
Maybe like 15 yards from my tree stand, and I'm like, holy crap, man, there's a deer right there. But it's like so dark, like it's not an ethical time to take a shot. You can barely see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah.
But like I could see the little bit of white specks on the deer and its head. I could see it looking up, and then like, holy shit, this is blowing me out already. Holy crap, man. So then like it kind of runs off like maybe, 10 yards or something, and then it stops and looks back at me, and I'm like, fuck, man, oh my God. Like I notched my bow and whatnot and put my release on. I go to full draw and I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't, I don't think I get it. And then it turned to start walking off. I'm like, oh, and I pulled back and released, and no, I have no idea what the hell happened. I should not have shot. It was just like, panicking and like not knowing, inexperience, all kind of bundled in one little thing. And I was just like, shoot. And I let it go and nothing. It ran off maybe like 20 feet and then just like slowly continued just like grazing and went back to eating. I was like, okay, well, I missed that thing. And then
we've all done that though, all new hunters, probably even all hunters. But I did that in Hawaii with axis deer. My first deer, I was like, oh crap! Like I thought I was gonna have to make a shot at like 80, 90 yards, which I was told is just normal. And then they ended up coming in, and they were at like 30. So I spun my pin and then used the wrong pin, and I just was like, oh crap! They stopped, because I was heard you have to take moving shots with axis deer. They stopped, and I just panicked, full panic. Whack!
Shoot!
My arrow went right underneath like a herd. It didn't hit a thing, and they all just ran off. So
you see it multiple targets.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't shooting into like a group of, yes, it was a group, but I wasn't just firing into a mass of flesh. I had a specific doe targeted. I fired, wrong pin, arrow went right underneath.
Brutal. Yeah, so I was sitting there, I'm watching this thing, and then like, 3 minutes later, it's like getting pretty decent. What the hell? Like I'm looking at a deer in front of me, like, it's probably 60 feet out. All of a sudden I get blown out again behind me. I'm like, what the hell? I look back, like down to my right, and there's I'm sitting my back on a tree, right? So I look down to my right, and there's two doe right there, like staring at me. And I was like, oh my God. Like, and then like, they're locked, like we're locked eye to eye. And it's like, holy shit. Oh, and like, I try to move and I kicked my Gatorade bottle was on the ground of but it wasn't like, luckily it didn't roll off the step. It fell over and I grabbed it with my foot. And I was like, holy shit, like, holy, like I'm just, I don't even know what to do with this one. I'm just like frozen, right? Like, and these two deer are just staring at me and stomping their legs and like scraping at the dirt and I'm just freaking out. I'm like, holy crap. And like, in the back of my mind, as much as I know I should just be focused on the deer, I'm like, I need to get that great Gatorade bottle and put it somewhere that it's not going to fall and maybe hit this deer in the head, because it's like right underneath me. So I'm like, oh my God, this is too much, man. I was just kind of like, I started shaking. The shake started kicking in. I'm like, holy crap. And then I had my gloves off because I was just getting a drink of Gatorade when all this started. So my gloves are off, and I reach up and try to get my bow down from it's on my like left shoulder. My bow is up there, but the deer down to my right. So I kind of reach up to grab my bow to the left. I get blown out again, and there's deer to my left. And then there's deer in front of me. And then I was like, oh my God. And like, I was freaking, man. Like, I used to train and do like boxing and MMA and whatnot. I love doing it. It was great. I love that rush. Right. But there was like, you could like testosterone, have you like your rage and in the rage, be like, oh! and scream and like let out your testosterone, right? But sitting there and staying quiet and not moving is not me, bro. Like, that's not me at all. I am not someone with patience. I am not that guy at all. But I'm sitting there. I'm starting to shake. I grabbed my bow. I got my bow. I now have it on my lap, and I got the shakes are going. I'm holding on to the cold frame of the bow, and my hands are freezing. I'm sitting there like, whatever, screw being cold, and these deer are all just staring at me. And there was like, I could see 4 or 5 of them in front, like around me, but they were all kind of like again, I'm leaning on my back on the tree, so they're all like behind 3 o'clock or behind 9 o'clock, like behind the tree kind of deal. So I'm like, I can't stand up and do a 180 with this bow in my hand and then try to shoot this doe that is like right there. Like, it was like at the bottom of the tree stand and then maybe like 10 or 15 yards away from me. So up on the tree stand, it looked like I was on top of this thing, right? And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm just freaking out. I don't even know what to do. So I'm frozen. I'm just stuck there. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, that thing is huge. I want that one. But it's staring at me, puffing at me. And then it goes back to eating. So then I look back, I put my head up straight and I'm looking. And then there's the cornfield. I'm like maybe 20 yards from like where the cornfield start.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there and this deer is coming like 11, 12 o'clock, maybe at around 10 o'clock on the clock, right in front of me. It's coming towards me. I can see it walking just on the edge of the cornfield, just at the start of the bush of the forest that I'm in. And I'm like, okay, this thing looks a lot smaller. But at this point, right, like I'm new. I'm not trophy hunting out there. I just wanted something to put in my freezer, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, these things, like, they were everywhere. They were everywhere, behind me, under me. Like, I could throw my water bottle and hit the thing. But the one in front of me, I was like, okay, that's what I'm shooting. Right there. That's the one I'm shooting. Just it needs to come a bit further up, and that's what I'm shooting. It's perfect. I don't have to, like, my bow was already on, notched my arrow, but it was sitting on my lap. The bow was.
Okay.
And I had the release connect, like, already on there. And I was like, it just needs to take, like, 3 or 4 more steps, and I'm taking this one. And I'm sitting there waiting, and all of a sudden, one behind me blows me out again. Another one blows, and then they run off. I count 9 whitetails running off to my right, gone. I'm like, oh my God, man. So I'm like, okay, whatever. This one is still right here in front of me. So I'm like, okay, whatever. This is the one I'm getting anyway. So I'm sitting there. My arm, I am just shaking like a leaf up in the tree. And I'm like, okay, so it takes 2 more steps. I'm like, okay, like, come on, 1 more step. I could see its head, but nothing else besides its head behind the trees and whatnot. And then I'm sitting there. Spooks runs off. I'm like, oh my God, no. Like, I was so deflated. I was so like disappointed in myself. I sat there for like another hour. Nothing else came back. And I was just like I was yawning now. I was exhausted. Like,
I bet, man.
Like,
what was the like from the start of all of this chaos till that point right there? Like, how much time passed right there? Because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I feel like until like from when I seen the first deer, and it was dark, to that last deer ran off, maybe 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Maybe. Like, it was a lot. And then after they ran off, I put my gloves back on. I'm freezing now because I got the shakes and I'm freezing. My hands have been out, like, exposed that whole time and holding onto the bow. Yeah. And I'm just like, like feeling like, I'm like, wow, if I didn't get a deer then, when am I ever going to get a freaking deer? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So eventually I packed up my stuff and I hiked back to the house, and I just was sitting on the back deck, and then everybody came out and they're like, what's going on? I'm just like sitting there with my head down. I'm just like, nothing, just leave me alone. Like, I'm just, it was crazy. I'm like, it was so crazy. Like, and I try to retell the story and I can't find my words. And I'm just like, just like kind of in shock. And I was like, oh my God, like that would have been the best. Everybody always says you don't forget your first deer, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
that would have been the most amazing story ever to have for my first deer. And I just lost it. I was so cheesed. So went inside and like honestly, I was tired. I was like, I need to take a nap, I think. Like, and I sat on the couch for like an hour and I was just so deflated. It was brutal. So I watched some hunting shows, and then I went for a drive to go get some beer, I think, and then on the way back, I stopped at the hunting store, and I went in and told them my story, and the guy was like, he's like, Chris, man, he's like, don't feel defeated, buddy. He's like, that's right there. What you're just told me is what people live for.
Yes.
Not for shooting the animal, for that experience that you just had right there. That is an experience that not many people will have. That you snuck into like you like my ninja skills to get me into that tree when there was 9 sleeping doe right there was pretty crazy, right? I mean,
He's 100% correct, man. Like you go and that morning a deer walks up and you shoot it and that's the end of the story. That's not fun. That's not exciting. Sure you'd remember that deer forever, but this story that you have is unique and it is fun and you will tell that to your grandkids, not
right? I
necessarily,
know, right?
about the buck that just walked in and you shot it. So he's right, man. People live for the experience where they're surrounded by the wildlife, not just where they're
Yeah.
killing something.
Yeah,
'Cause it's not just about
it
killing, it's
was
about
so
the whole
crazy,
thing.
man.
That's so
No,
cool.
he's definitely right, and it was something to like that I will never remember. I will never forget. Sorry. But yeah, so I after talking to him, right, I was like, he's like, so like, did you spook them? And then they ran off. I was like, no, they just like, like, I mean, I think they knew something was there the whole time, but they just kept eating and grazing, and then eventually just the herd of 9 just slowly walked off that direction. And then I waited for the last one, which maybe the last one that wasn't with that group heard like one of them snap a stick or something, because like I had like nose jammer on and everything, right, so that
Yeah.
they wouldn't smell my scent and whatnot. But who knows? Maybe it did, but still, it heard something, and that one ran off, right? Maybe that one spooked a bit, but the other 9 didn't. He's like, "Well, shit, man." He's like, "Don't give up, buddy." I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, you're right, man. That was crazy. That was a crazy story, right? He's like, man, I wish I had something like that to tell. That's an amazing story. I was like, no kidding. All right, cool. So then the next morning, I was like, all right, man, I got to go and get me a deer. This is not happening again that I'm getting like that happened. I didn't get a deer. I want to tell this story with the story of me getting a deer. Right.
Yeah.
So the next morning I went out and ninja'd it in there again, but I woke up and there was no deer around me. And I was kind of like, oh shit. Okay. Well, I'm sitting there, and now just going back to the day before, right? I kind of learned, they were all behind me in the tree, right? So like, if I was like, I'm on this little platform with my back up against the tree with my feet on a little platform below it. Like, okay, I can stand up, but if I stand up and turn to the right, my arm and because I shoot right side, right eye dominant. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if I turn to the right, I'm going to hit that tree and I can't go back there all the way, right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to remember that. So I'm sitting there, and the next morning, I'm sitting there on the tree. I'm sitting, and then I hear something. I'm like, oh my God, is that a deer coming? And I hear a snap, and then like I see it jump like twice, and then it stops, and then it starts grazing. I'm like, holy shit! Oh, okay, and like it looked up kind of my direction, and I'm like, wow, okay, it might know I'm here. I had like nose jammed the crap out of me that day. Let me tell you, I was like, I'm not getting blown out again. So I'm sitting there and I see the doe and it's looking at me, but it's maybe at like 2:00 on the clock, right out in front of me, but still maybe 40 yards out. And I'm like, okay, well, they were all behind me yesterday. So it keeps walking closer to like almost direct line to me. And I'm like, wow, okay, cool, sweet. And it's looking at me. It puts its head down to eat. I stand up, turn around and grab my bow and use my head as like a kickstand and lean up against the wall. the tree. So I'm sitting there with my head up on my head against the tree, like my forehead against the tree. And I'm standing there with my bow in my hand. And I'm just kind of like, now the deer is to like my left and a bit behind me. And I'm just looking over my shoulder, watching it. And it's coming up. It's looking at me, but not blowing me out or anything. It's looking at me, puts its head down. It keeps eating. I'm like, okay, sweet. Okay, sweet. It walks exactly to where all those doe were like the morning before. And then it keeps walking a bit back. And I'm like, it looks up at me again. I'm just frozen on this tree. Like I wasn't moving an inch. I'm standing there. I got my bow already like notched and everything. I'm sitting there. So now it walks behind the tree that I've got. Like I can't see it. It's behind the tree that I've got my head on. So I stand up, posture up, and I put my lead hand on the tree, and I draw back, and I'm sitting there, and I can't see anything. There's nothing. Like there's no deer there because it's behind the tree, right? And then it just takes that few more steps needed to be. Boom. And like I've shot a deer, and they've done their little like jump, kick. You miss, sucker, right?
Yeah.
This thing was like a train, you know, like it. When it smacked it took off like a freight train, and it was just like running like crazy. It hit something, it barrel rolled over something, then it got up and kept going, and then it was out of my sight. And I was like, oh my god, did that just happen? Holy shit! And I can't even believe myself. I'm losing my mind, and all of a sudden, snap, and I'm like, what the hell? And I look to my left, and here comes another doe. Like, just as nice of a doe. They were both huge. But the second doe came, and it walked right where I just shot this thing. And I was like, oh my god. Oh, okay. So I just put everything down and watched it and recorded it. I've got the recording of it afterwards of it. And then it stops and looks up at me and blows me out and starts moving, digging it with its paws and whatnot, or, scraping the ground. And I was just like, oh my god, this is insane. And then I was like, shit, that I better have gotten that first one. Imagine I didn't, and now I just let this other doe go. So I'm sitting in the tree, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so pumped. And I know all the things, you're supposed to stay there. You're supposed to wait. And I was like, okay, well, my arrow should only be 20 yards from my tree. So let's go down and see if I can find my arrow. So I went down, I looked around, I'm like, oh, man, there's no blood. What the hell? I found my arrow. Okay, I found my arrow. There was some blood on it. I was like, okay, sweet. So then I found some blood spots. I'm like, and I had up in the tree stand, I got a little cushion, yellow-orange cushion that warms up as you're sitting on it. So I had that in my hand. And right when I found the blood, I just tossed the cushion right beside it, and then just backed out. Hiked back out the way I came in. Went back to the house, which is only a 4-minute walk. So I walked back to the house, and I was like, oh my god, ran in. I'm like, babe, I just fucking. So we sat down, I had breakfast, and then I ran upstairs. I woke up McKinley, and I'm like, McKinley, look at this. And I had a leaf with blood on it, and she's like, ew, Dad, what's that? I'm like, I got a deer. It's bleeding. She's like, what? No way. Oh my god. Yes. She got up. She was all psyched. I was psyched. We're kind of feeding off each other. And then, so we go out and we track this thing together. We go out and we waited a bit. We had breakfast or finished eating breakfast, and then, went out. We got out there, and, I showed her. I'm like, okay, I took her to the tree stand. I'm like, okay, Mick, look, it was right down there. See that orange pillow? She's like, yeah, that's your pillow. I'm like, yeah, Daddy dropped that where he found the blood. So we went down. I mean, it's fall, right? There's leaves everywhere, orange and brown and red leaves and whatnot, right? So, I mean, the trail, we found blood. There was a lot, and then there was nothing. And then there was a lot, and then there was nothing. And then we found this spot that, remember I said that it did, it hit something and barrel rolled over it and then got back up and kept going.
Yeah.
I got to that spot, and I found a broken stick that was there that had blood all over it as well. So like, holy crap. Okay. So we kept looking. We're walking and like, I'm letting her do all the work, right? Like, daddy, there's blood here. And she's got like a stick and she's following it and we'd lose the trail. And we're like, okay, let's back up to the last spot. And then she's like, oh, it went this way, Dad. I'm like, okay, let's go. So we go over, we keep following it. And we got to the spot where like, we went back to the same spot like 4 times because we kept losing our trail. And, I was like, oh my God, like, what the hell? Where could it have gone? And I'm like, okay, let's just, like, we know that, let's drop our pillow here again. Let's just walk around. And I walked around and I found it. But I was just like, hey, Mickey. I went back to her and I'm like, McKinley, like, where is it? Like, where do you, like, let's go look this way. And kind of like led her in the right direction. And she found it and freaked out. And oh, it was so cool. It was so like, my first kill was with my daughter and me found it together. It was pretty special, right? And she'll never forget it, and I'll never forget this. First thing she did was take a stick and poke it in the eye. Like, McKinley, you gotta respect animals. You don't do that. She's like, oh, sorry, Daddy. And then she kicks it. I'm like, McKinley, what are you doing? Like,
that's funny.
So
it's funny that she did that, and then it's also funny that you had that response because I know I was actually taught like, hey, if you're not sure if it's dead or not, you don't want to get speared by an antler. Go and poke it in the eye because it'll respond if it's just laying there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
like that's funny.
Maybe
And
she
who
knew what
knows?
she was
Maybe
doing
I was
then.
taught wrong, but she's a natural. That's what I'm telling you, Chris. She's a natural.
Here we go. I like the sound of that. But yeah, so it was super cool, man. It was a blast. So I mean, like I still yet to experience like to say some real hunting, you know. Actually, I just rode my quad back there, threw the thing on the back, and rode it home, and you know that was that. I'd never done anything before, like butchered or cut open an animal or anything ever before. So I looked up some YouTube videos, and the next we hung it, gutted it, hung it in my barn, and then the next morning, McKinley's like, "Daddy, are we gonna do the deer?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can stay home from school. Let's go." We went out, and the whole family was out there. We butchered the deer and cut it all up and whatnot, and parted it out. And yeah, man, it was an experience and a half. It was something that the whole family will never forget. We all did it all together for our first time, right? So yeah, it was great. We took the meat. I got it. We took the meat into like a meat place around here, like butcher place, and they made some of the like the rib cutoffs and whatnot, like the lesser of the meat, the hamburger meat more or less. They made that into turn it into hamburger meat for me. And then I made some jerky, and we had some pepperettes done up, and just a bunch of roasts and all that stuff, all the good stuff, right? We kept that all whole, and the family, everybody loves the deer meat, and the pepperettes saved us a fortune because the kids just mounted pepperettes. At the start, it was like like the normal like with Schneider's pepperettes you get in the stores or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't look the exact same, so they're like, "What's this?"
Yeah,
they were in a different package. So I'm like,
for kids,
right? So
a different color package.
No. So eventually, I just like once that their pepperette package was empty, I put the other pepperettes in it, and then they thought it was great. So
that's
yeah,
funny.
just a little bit like what do they call that? Sleight of hands, right? Take out those ones, put these ones in. Now they're on board with it, so it's great.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Just eat the pepperettes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome,
man.
Chris. That's a great story, man. It's a great season. And I love that you got to experience it with your daughter and just have that fun, man. And like the guy at your shop said, like that is a special story that is super fun. I have a couple stories that aren't even hunting, just scouting, but I got surrounded by all these animals, and I tell those stories all the time. So that was a cool one, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man, for sure. Like what kind of animals? What kind of animals are you surrounded by?
We were putting up game cameras, and we're walking through, and I have like my hunting buddy and then 2 other friends that are not hunters. But I'm like, hey, it's just hiking. Let's just go for a hike and set up some cameras. And they're like, okay, cool. So we go camping, have a couple beers at camp. It's a great little weekend. But we're hiking in, and all of a sudden someone realizes that like they see an elk, and all of a sudden it's not one elk. It's a herd of bulls. So there's probably 30 bulls, and they didn't realize they ran into us because there were so many of them until they were probably 15 yards away. And then it was just chaos. Bulls behind us, bulls in front of us, bulls going past us, going away from us. It was just like and only one person had the thought to like get their phone out and they took a photo. Thankfully, iPhones had that like live photo, so we were able to like hold it down and watch. But it was just like elk running in every direction. It was just a super cool experience. And I'll tell you what,
No
couldn't have been more
doubt.
excited for that season. Those cameras, we went and checked them a couple times. Had deer, had mule deer, they had elk, they had at 10,000 feet, had antelope, had bear, had turkey, had foxes, had everything you could imagine until the week before season started. And then nothing. Everything just disappeared. It was infuriating. But I've never been more excited for a season, and that was just a super cool moment to just be surrounded by bull elk, just running in every direction.
For sure. That's one of my big ones that I want to do is elk. That's
Yeah.
something huge on my list that I want to get done. Moose and elk, and those are the top two right now. But
For sure. They're both delicious. And you get a lot more meat than a white-tailed doe. That's for sure.
yeah, no doubt. We cleaned up. I think that it must have been like 180 pounds or something. I mean, we had
That's
a
good.
lot of meat, man. Yeah, we've been eating a lot of it, and there's still quite a bit. So
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm about out of time here, Chris. This was a lot of fun. So I'm going to give you a homework assignment, which is, keep getting out there, man, and making more stories, and we'll have you back on here in the future. But for now, dude, why don't you share where the folks can find you? If you have socials you want to share, and if you don't, then we can walk off into the sunset. Your choice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any social media that anybody would want to see besides like welding and dog breeding or whatnot. But Notorious Presa Kennel on Instagram. We run a kennel. We breed Presa Canarios. Yeah, that's pretty much I think all we really got going. Don't really do much of the social media, but yeah.
Cool, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for reaching out, sharing your stories. I know you've been hunting for like 2.5 years. I can hear the passion and how excited you are telling these stories. So this is fun, and I'm glad that you found hunting, because I think it's going to be it's going to be a family tradition for you, man. So it's really cool to hear your stories.
Right on, man. I'm glad. Thanks for having me.
Of course, brother. Of course. Thanks again, man.
Of course. Take care.
All right, guys, that's it. Another couple stories in the books. Again, I want to thank Chris for being brave, reaching out, telling us his hunting stories. It was a ton of fun to hear some new stories, some successes, some failures, and I can't wait to stay in touch with the guy, get him back on here in the future, and hear about his new adventures as well as some of the ones that we missed out just because we ran out of time. So, Chris, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. For you listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. If you got any feedback, let me know. Send me some messages. Hit me up on social medias. I do have a new website you can click to. Changing some things around. If there's things I'm doing you do like, great. Tell me. If there's things that I'm doing that you don't like, okay, great. Tell me. Let's make this thing perfect for everybody. But most importantly, make sure you give us a review, a follow, and share us with a friend. And if you have some hunting stories, please do reach out. Thank you so much. Now get out there and make some stories of your own.
Hey guys, this is Melissa Bachman. Are you ready to stop spooking deer before it's even time to hunt them? Then you need the new Flex S Dark cellular trail camera from SpyPoint. With a no-glow flash option, long-lasting solar power, and a ton of settings that can be changed anytime through the SpyPoint app, there are no more excuses for letting your deer get wise before the season even starts. So check it out for yourself and see why the SpyPoint Flex S Dark is the unstoppable and undetectable scouting tool you need for your next hunt.
Want to plan your next fishing trip without the hassle? FishingBooker.com is the best way to find and book a fishing charter anywhere in the world. Whether you're chasing trophy fish or just looking for a family day on the water, Fishing Booker makes it simple, fast, and secure. With thousands of experienced guides, verified reviews, and 24/7 customer support, Fishing Booker takes the guesswork out of planning. Visit FishingBooker.com and book your trip today. Fishing Booker. Fishing trips made easy.